Okay, monkey yoga. Well, the first thing that may come to your mind, oh, that sounds funny. We are beyond the point where this can be considered as funny. Because what we need to learn in order to understand why people like me started to introduce drastic change into their lives is because humanity is full of shame because of the way that they treat nature and the beings of the natural world. And what this teaches is that you cannot run away from your emotions or your shame, but you may accept it, and then you may have this deep wish to understand how a human once may have felt before he started to run amok and destroy everything and basically kill and rape nature itself, and then treat women with disrespect, like pick them and throw them away, and then treat men with disrespect. So we're just using each other to make us feel better. And we're using nature and beings, like bees. We're just using bees to make ourselves feel better. And I was trying to find a funny way to introduce this video, and I realized I have no more fun. There is no fun to be had anymore. This is now we gotta get serious and stop with having fun. And so you stop eating sugar and you learn how to move, how to truly move, and how to go back to nature and feel at ease. This is what you must do if you want to stop being like a pretender who pretends like everything's fine and good and that New Year's Eve is a really good idea. What we need is, we need to calm down and we need to relax. And this cannot be said without everything I said before. I could have said so much more. But then I said, you know what? Feel it for yourself. Go into nature and spend time there. And then start walking on all fours and then perceive, smell, hear, and feel the natural world. That is the true world. Everything else is just a fantasy. It's what we have created from nature, acting like we don't need nature. We need to do this in a respectful way. And the most respectful way I have found is to simply be in nature and show her that I'm still here. And that's the message. That's why I started to do monkey yoga. Because I felt so disconnected that I wanted to reconnect. And this is how I do it.
So yeah, one of the things I'm still working towards is monkey yoga. Monkey yoga. Now I can do this now, or I can do it later. Yeah. People think this is funny. This is meditation. This is the right way to live. This is simply what you need to do. In your own way. I just learned from monkeys. And that's what they do. They roam around. And then you're in the moment. But there's gonna be another video on this. Or maybe there won't be. Because maybe I'm sick of putting too much effort into all of this. So, I mean, monkey yoga. Just imagine you're a monkey. Because yoga is about the light and the shadow, man. It's in the middle. So if you can do this and be exactly in the moment, because what does it do? All your senses, you have smell, you're close to the earth. You have touch, like you don't have to do like this, you can do like this. You've got touch, you've got your feet, right? And you're very close. This is healing for your eyes. So you walk around like a monkey, and the monkey is constantly looking for something. Now the problem is, what are you looking for? Well, that shouldn't matter. You could just forget what you're looking for and you just do this and you just look for whatever there is. But remember, you're a human, or else they will put you away like an animal. So you're not trying to transition back to being an animal, which is just a word, because what we call animals are gods of nature. So, or spirits or whatever. So what I do when I do monkey yoga, and I think this should be almost enough, but I'm just barely starting to see my own potential in this. You know, like climbing trees, like really like climbing trees, like this one. So this is the one part of the monkey yoga. It's just to be in tune with your environment. to have no fear of ants and insects, and to just see it all part of everything there is. But this is also an environment desolate of any large predators. So, you know, I can play around. Yeah, I'd probably be more careful in the African savannah, but if you were in the African savannah, then walking around like this would give you a good overview about snakes. It brings you closer to the ground, makes you humble, makes you be in line with your animal body. And so one part of monkey yoga is probably climbing trees. But you see, I've got not need strength for that. You see, it's like super tough exercise. Okay, this tree gives you a lot to hold on to. It's not a beach. It's like, oh wow. Okay. Then you gotta work on these skills. So you gotta look out. If there's like a dead branch, you know, be careful. That's all I'm saying. So I think that's all I need to say about monkey yoga. It's a form of meditation. It's a way to be one with the universe. By walking around, placing your hands on the ground. You can call this dog yoga. You can call this wolf yoga. You can call this animal movement yoga. It's one way to meditate, but just being focused on what you're doing, which is just moving with grace. Yeah. Learning how to place your hands. Jeez, now I really gotta do this. Sometimes I leave the house, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, I thought I was just gonna go on slackline, and suddenly I do this. And you think, why? And then the answer is because. Now I'm here, and this is how my life worked out. So you see, if you walk, and you walk like this, place your hand there, then your foot comes up. And then your other foot comes up, and this hand, you know, this is like coordination. And then all you do while you're doing this is just you observe the beautiful ground you're walking on. This is like appreciation for nature itself. How marvelous this all holds itself together. And you can walk on it. Right? And so, for this I did planks. Like lots and lots of planks. So this becomes natural. And then this is no longer painful. But just natural. And you see, you just gotta practice planks. And then this works itself out in some way. And then you can actually scare the shit out of people. But be careful with that. You see? This is supposed to free you from the idea that you're a human that needs to be separate from nature. This is getting back to... I have had moments where this was the only thing that could center me again and make me realize who I am truly. Right? So, city people are afraid of nature. I am no longer a part of the city people. I'm part of the nature people advocating nature in cities and in, you know, like internet stuff. That's what I do. I'm a nature person advocating nature, advertising it, and giving value back to it. Because nature woke me up and showed me the error of our ways. So you cannot escape nature, it's always there. You're born, you'll die, and that's the end of it. And if you're a spirit in this, if you're it doesn't matter, because you live, you die, and that's all there is to it. And in between you have time. When the time runs out, goodbye. And then you can, of course, try to walk like other animals, like a monitor, or like no, this has all been done already, but not by you and not by me. This is much better than doing it at home. And then you sit like this. Yeah. And then you know truth as a feeling. And then it's no longer a word. Because you know this is true. Everything else is fake. And that's how you hold your ground against phony stuff. So that's monkey yoga in a nutshell, if you will. And that's me talking about it. And then there's you, the potential implementer of this into its own life. You know, you can do this at home, but nature is much better for it. I think I've said it all. It's meditation, and the rest you just have to experience. You have to clean your eyes. I've done a lot of cleansing with my eyes. In the beginning I did still smoke, because smoking can connect you and relax you. But on the long run it's better to go without smoking. Because otherwise you always have to smoke first before you do something. And I feel like it's kind of stupid. Because why do you always have to smoke first, right? I mean, you could also just do something else, right? So that's what I wanted to do. Just show it. I've discovered this for myself, and that's all I can say here. And so you go where you feel good, and then you practice, and then you see where you land. And that's then the message of life. You know, you're born, you start, but in between you gotta check where you are. And if you're like really far away from yourself, well then the message is, how do you get back? And that's then what I did in my own way, to find who I remembered I might have been once. This was a feeling, and that's what I did. I'm really trying to get rid of these things, but there's just always more. Anyway, this was the monkey yoga thing. I have already recorded some of it, like how much do people really need from me to show them that there are better ways to live. And that's why I like to keep these things short.